I immediately thought, you know what, I need to take that gift and split it up between them all and let them all have it, And that was one thought, and who knows? I might still do that. I'm just going to wait when I talk to Paul before my session. I might say, "Hey, could we divide it up and just let my kids have that?" But I know even if I take the gift, I know that it is opening the door for me to continue to grow my business, so that I will be at that place where I can sow greater seeds. Because I've always sown the seeds, whether it was the 79 cents when I was 5 years old or whatever. I will give what I have, and if I can't give, I'm not afraid to go ask people and tell people what I'm doing. But my goal in life is to be able to serve people I'll never see, and to serve those right in front of me. And it's been really neat in this journey to be able to, even like right now, this is an example of God just restoring everything that the enemy stole, and just restoring it back sevenfold in my life. Just being on this call. I mean, this is a a result. This is a miracle. This is a gift from Him for me to be able to do this, because it's confirming the call in my life. I used to sit in this other company and say, I'm a world changer, and it would just hit the roof and fall clunk on the floor. But when I got my life, my heart right and my head right, and began to just step out and be me, then things like this began to they just manifested themselves into my life. And so I'm just humbled. I'm grateful. You don't know this, Gloria, but a couple years ago, when you did your training at the certification in Orlando, and it was the orchestra, and y'all gave us all the gift of the baton. You gave us all a baton. Is that the right name for it, or is there like a special name for it?
No, that's the right name.
Okay, I was making sure. I even asked Doug. I was like, is it just a baton, or is there some special name I'm supposed to know? But I have it with me right now, as a matter of fact, and I have it on my desk, and so often I'll just pick it up, and it's such a reminder that we are truly, we write the music, we lead the music, we are the music in our life, and we can direct, and we can change the notes if we need to. We can rewrite it if we need to, and there's some days I have to rewrite my song in the middle of the day, but it's just a great reminder that, first of all, we're music to His ears, even when it's not the prettiest song. But I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. And so, yes, to answer your question, I hope I answered your question. But
absolutely. And, I can't wait to hear the rest of the story. So maybe we'll have to bring you back on so you can tell us the rest of the story about the mentoring session.
I know.
But I think what you're pointing out, too, Lynn, and, again, I just want to kind of underscore this, not only being yourself, being me, being Lynn, but a point that you made earlier. So it's knowing who you are and really stepping in those shoes and walking in those shoes and not comparing yourself to others, but it's also whose you are. It's who and whose you are, because we operate in just such more brilliant, radiant power. We have the Creator to thank for helping us and supporting us in walking in the power that He already has bestowed upon us when we awaken to that gift that He's already provided for us. So it's that combination of being yourself, being who you are, but also whose you are.
That's right. I just wrote that down, Gloria.
Well, you said it. You said it earlier.
I said it, but I'm glad you said it again, because I might have missed it. But I'm gonna put that on my mirror. But yeah, we do, and it's so neat, because when you become, when you're walking with Him, with Jesus, and you become fearless like that, you're so bold. I can't believe I forgot to say this, but one of the projects we're working on right now in our little town is we're planting a church here. And for my whole life, I went to the same church and sat in the same pew and felt the same way. And one day I realized I was kind of in a place that wasn't moving forward. And If you're not moving forward, you're not staying the same. You're going backwards. And as we know, we don't leave a place. It's just sometimes time to go to a new place. And so that day I made a decision that I was going to a new place. And so we began attending another church outside of our city, and now we're planting a church. And it's so cool because all the people there are people that just want to love Jesus and love people of all colors. And in our little small town, and really not just in our town, but our churches are divided by race. And I'm just over pretending that that's okay with me, because it's not. So we're just free. We are free at last. We really are. And we are going to have a church that is going to serve all people, all kinds of people, anybody that walks in our door. And we are super excited.
Well, that's fantastic, and what you're talking about is very close to my heart, as you can probably imagine. Lynne, I know that you know a lot about passing it on, and I'm just wondering if you could say a little bit about how you pass things on in your life. I mean, you obviously have told us that, but if you could be just either underscore or emphasize or just share with us your heart about what it means and why it's so important to pass it on.
Yes, and I love the whole movement, the pass it on movement, and the legacy that just radiates, from your book, and how important it is for us, those of us that know the truth, even if we just know a little bit of the truth, we need to take that flame, and we need to fan it, and we need to keep it burning like never before, because all it takes, and I really don't listen to the news much, but all it takes, the last few days in our country, there's just been tragic loss, and there's so many people that don't even really know why they do the things they do or why they believe the way they do. They've just separated themselves off and joined these little groups that it makes them think they're connected, but they're really not. And one thing I love Brene Brown, and one thing she says, it's hard to hate close up, and that we need to move in. And I think we all need to move in close to the fire so that we can be light and we can pass it on. It's just like a candlelight vigil or a church service. If you've ever been to a candlelight service, in order to pass that light on, we have to be close. You have to be able to be there, be close to the flame. And I think now more than ever, I'll speak for myself, but I feel like if I am anything, if I am who I say that I am, that I love Jesus, there are no exceptions. It's everybody, like Bob Goff, his new book, everybody always. It's everybody and it's always. And we all better be passing it on.
Well, you know what, when you talked about you're over pretending, and the way that I hear that is being faithful. We talk about being faithful to God, but we also have to be faithful to who we are, to how God made us. And if you, like you said, if you love God, then how can you not love other people, right?
Right.
They're made in His image too.
That's right.
So, just so many things that you've talked about today, Lynne, has resonated, and it kind of comes to a point for me in terms of what you're saying right now. The hunger having a face and being close in. How can you not reach out to somebody when you look at them in the eye, right?
Yeah.
How can you not love someone when they are not only a part of you, but they are another reflection, another aspect of who you are, another aspect of the Creator. Yeah, so I just love and appreciate what you're saying.
Well, it's just all I know, and it's simple, and really, love is pretty simple.
It is. So can I ask you about another project that you're working on? that we haven't talked about? I'm looking at my notes here, Lynne, and I have a note about creating courageous cultures in the classroom. Not sure if that's a current project for you, but is there anything that you'd like to say to us about that project?
Yes, I'm very passionate about education and all children receiving excellent education, not just the ones that have the ability to be associated with schools that are flourishing. But I have seen in my own little town, so I can talk about my little town because I live in it and I've born and raised here, so I could say this. But I've watched our system just struggle and be a failing district, and then I've seen what happens when everybody pulls out, and we don't want our children to go there because that's blah 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 or whatever, and then teachers don't want to teach there, and parents don't want to send their children there, but there are some children that don't have a choice, and I am fighting for those children, and I'm fighting for all children, but I'm definitely going to fight for the ones that don't have anybody fighting for them. So that's why this year with this Global Youth Initiative, I was so passionate about going into that system, and I really had to kind of work my way in the back door because there were some people that didn't really want me to come there. But how do you turn a volunteer away? And so they really couldn't, especially when I came with 600 books, free books to give the kids. People donated and helped us give John's book that sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. So I say all that to say that I'm very passionate about working with the adults in these school systems and to change this, to equip them and help them see what a toxic culture is and what a healthy culture is. And I believe with all my heart, it's not the ability of these kids, but it's the culture that they're in. It's just like if we were going to plant sunflower seeds and we took them and put them in a chlorine pool, they're not going to grow in the chlorine pool. And it's no different. And when you're in it and swimming in it, you don't really see these are toxic cultures here. And so I'm really designing a program, well, it's really ready to roll out now, to go into school systems and to begin to help them help them. They have the answers, not me, but just to raise their awareness, to create safe places for these kids, because kids spend more time at school than anywhere. And if there's a classroom that they can go into that is safe and there's a teacher there that they trust, first of all, behavior is going to be stellar. I mean, because it's going to be a safe place that people can be authentic and real and honest, and that just has a ripple effect, and it will go throughout the whole school. But I've seen it happen right here. We just found out there's one school in one of our poorest little counties here on the outside of our town, and poorest little cities, a little town. It's not even, doesn't even have a stoplight. But those children, because of the leader that they have right now, the principal, 3 years ago, they were an F school, and they just got their grade back from their third grade reading, and 100% of those children passed it. They beat every private school, every Christian school, and every charter school in the whole area. So I laugh just because God is good, and it's just such an example.
Do you know what made the difference, the turnaround?
Yeah, just the heart of the leader, the heart that she had for the children and for the teachers. She just demonstrates excellence. She does love Jesus too, but she just went in there and loved those kids and spoken to them things that they could not see yet as they were. She spoken to them as they were already there.
Yes.
And I remember when I went over there and did a leadership activity with them, and it's the same activity that I do with business people and corporations and stuff. I did it with those fourth graders, and they nailed it. Nailed it. So yeah, that's one of the things I'm really passionate about right now, and it's just because think about this. If I was a functioning person in society, but I was so broken and there's so many broken systems, and the education system, in my view, just Lynne Brown. I'm not saying have all the answers, but I